Hello and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Last time we finished Shizune's route and we got all the endings. There was only two, but we got both of them. And now we're on our finalist route of Katawa Shoujo. And we're gonna go with Emi's route. It's gonna be bittersweet because it's gonna be our last route, which means that we finished the game. But at the same time, it's gonna be our last round. So we finished the game. So let's enjoy it while we have it. Let's go. I turned my back at them. Hold on, this is new stuff. I get back to my seat and shut my ears from the finale of the argument between Lily and Shizune. Eventually, Lily leaves our classroom and Shizune and Misha seat themselves without talking to me. I can feel Shizune's eyes burning into my back. She is probably angry at me, but I'm just as angry with her. I don't get why she had to drag me into this argument. Hello. So, I recorded this part kind of already, but the sounds were really loud. So, I didn't want them to be so loud. And I'm re-recording it. Oh, whoop. I forget that it's in skip mode. So now, I forgot I already read it. Sorry. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emi pull ahead? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Bah, bah, bah. Emi looks over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Emi laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're going to play things, I increase my own pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. The lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we start playing a game. Just when we started playing a game. Whoop. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she... It's like a string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emi whirls around and her eyes widen. He fell! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing. Just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. Bum, 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 bum. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon, it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Emi. She doesn't look too worried to me. She's like, feels like she looks like this. This is awkward. Oh boy, homie almost died. My friendo. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself. Oddly even and matter of fact. It makes Emi frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emi grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emi offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed of by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emi concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for all that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with this whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Nurse! Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, sunshine. What's up? Sunshine. Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. He saw, what brings you here? We were running, and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and I thought I'd come to get you, and... How dare you? Cut me off again. Easy there, Emmy, calm down. He saw, what happened? I don't know. We were running, and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful. Come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead with one hand tiredly. Emmy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running and Emmy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer of patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. You're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hisao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully... What the hell is that? I didn't notice that when I was playing the first time. What the hell is on your background, sir? What is this potato man? I'm entranced. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. Tired, but it might just be from exercising. You should stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. I'm not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in, and after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room, has that potato man always been there? I feel like he hasn't. I couldn't hear what he said, though, through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with a you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. We? Yep, the weather's so nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know? I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great, see you there. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around with the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion, like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like a soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away at his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it, not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex to try to push it away, to keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Ah, stupid, stupid, stupid. I have to be more careful or I will end up in the hospital again, or worse. Brr. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. Yawn, yawn. Oh, I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? Feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? Can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. Feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation, the nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. It is 10:15. You didn't answer my question, he said. Oh, fine. Climb down from that bed, then let's see how you were doing. Don't. I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption on my arm. After a couple minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're all right. Head stopped spinning? Yeah. Good. How are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, he saw. I swallow the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, told you so or something, but he doesn't. He's a professional. I can try and help you keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid an interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet as the courtyard was, naturally so since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Muto calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Muto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his class tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Muto takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think this is all the same. Yeah. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I'd join the flow and grab a lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited for lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of a classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides and I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball.
Hey, hi Hisao, great timing. I have super extra lunch today as promised. Let's go upstairs.
The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, and it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs.
Eek!
Hello.
Yipes, you scared me, Rin.
Wait, isn't she? Hello. I think that this is all ends up the same. Okay. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this cripple wonderland. I've already read this, so, but yeah, that is, still a big oof, Hisao. You can't just say you're cripple wonderland. That's horrible. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has like it has since that time in the forest with Iwanako, like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. No boo 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 boo. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. Alright, I get it, I'm sorry. Muto closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels or if it is some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Muto appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint.
Which one's Prussian blue?
She is staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it.
Geez, Ren, you're not helping at all.
I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. What Prussia even is. The name seems vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more like Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here.
We need to go get more then.
I open my mouth to say that actually we're not both needed for such a simple task like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I wave to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll know this when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Rin is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself running out of breath. What's the rush?
Huh?
Emmy gives me an appraising look as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face.
You're not out of breath, are you?
There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. I guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everyone can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape. Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some of that running There's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of decision.
Well, that's it then.
She gives me a serious look.
You're joining me.
I beg your pardon?
In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out, in fact.
She produces a crumpled sheet of paper.
I've got it right here with me.
I take the sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to, my God, does she expect me to be running marathons? Where does she find the time to get all this together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this?
A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to.
A vast conspiracy? Maybe Kenji was onto something here. It seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me.
Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now.
My God, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding. We're happy that he can't. What do you need a partner for anyway?
It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right?
This won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse.
And I'll be keeping an eye on you, just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao.
And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course, but I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan.
Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you?
As if to demonstrate, Emmy begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it! Just don't do that! I feel like I just hit a puppy.
So it's settled, right? You're going to be my running partner? Follow the workout? And the dietary plan?
Dietary plan?
Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're going to get in shape, you know.
I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here.
Oh, right. I forgot to give you that. I forgot to give that to you.
Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed.
I had the nurse help me come up with it.
The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. And again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start?
After the festival.
Right after? What if I've had something to eat there? I could get a stomach ache, you know.
I meant the day after the festival.
I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for Rin, huh?
Oh no, it slipped my mind.
By the time we get the paint and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Me and I both decided to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it whenever she comes back anyway. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. It's almost noon already. Okay.
This is where I left off last time, so I'm just gonna keep it there. What'll likely happen is I'll just edit out the parts that are too loud. So maybe you'll see this, and maybe you won't. It's a secret. And I'll see everyone in the next video.